Hey YouTube, this is Eddie, and in front of me here, in this blank space, we're going to see a lot of watches in a minute. It's November of 2025, and I'm going to put together the state of the collection video as I have it here. Now this is going to be any and all watches that I have. I'm going to rank those watches by importance to me. So what do they mean to me from a meaning standpoint? Were they a gift from an important person? Did it celebrate an important milestone? But first, I'm actually going to go over just what are my favorites, because those are not one-to-one. The most important watches in my life aren't necessarily my favorites, and vice versa. So I'm excited to share that. I'll share a little bit of a backstory on the watch, how I came to get it, as well as I'll share one thing I like and one thing I don't like, because even my most favorite watch, there's something to like and to not like, and with my least favorite watch, well, there's something to like about it still. It's part of the collection. It made the cut, at least for now. Now, if you watched my most recent video that I posted, I actually bought a fake Shinola. So I used to have a Shinola Runwell, a blue one in the collection. I sold that watch to pay for a green Shinola Runwell, which was supposedly new on eBay. Turns out that watch was a fake, so I'm down. I have no Shinola Runwells in my collection, or Runwell Quartz watches, rather. So that's another programming note, and then just a disclaimer, if you're a watch person, watching a state of the collection video, a lot of watch YouTubers put that out, is dangerous. I bought a Moon swatch back, I think, January of this year, because I saw it in someone's collection in their video, and so that was something crazy. And then also, watch collecting, if you're familiar, you don't need to hear this from me, but watch collecting really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Expensive watches don't tell the time more accurately than cheaper ones necessarily, but I love it. I love it because, quite frankly, to me at least, it's something that is awesome, and it's products built to last. It's things built to last, things you can pass down. There's no planned obsolescence. There's no, they call it enshittification. I think that's an actual word in the dictionary. There's none of that. The watch is a product that's held out against all odds. As smartwatches have tried to replace it, as phones have tried to replace it, the watch has held out and is still a product built to last. And so I think that that's commendable in this day and age when it seems like everything's built to break in a short amount of time. So anyway, it's been 2.5 minutes. Let's get into the collection. We're going to start with my favorite watch, proceed down to my least favorite watch, and I'll tell you kind of what tier we're in, because some of my watches are pretty close together. It's hard to break the tie, and some are a tier below. So my favorite watch of all is my Shinola Canfield Speedway Lap 7. Now, the Lap 7, you're probably getting some light from the overhead light here, the fan. One of my lights broke, unfortunately. This looks beautiful under any lighting. It looks beautiful in the dark. It looks beautiful when it's bright outside. It's a fabulous watch. It looks amazing. I think this is either the best Canfield Speedway they've ever made or the second best behind, I think it's the Lap 3 or 4. It's a fabulous watch. I like it more than the one they just released. And it's not a watch I would ever spend the amount of money on, at least at this stage in my life. I just wouldn't do it. But this was my favorite. It's my favorite, but it's also the most important to me, just because my wife got it for me. And she got it for me to celebrate our marriage. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary, and she got me this right before our wedding. So every time I look down at it, I think of my wife and a lot of the great times we've had, and the fact that she used a lot of her money at the time. We didn't combine money yet because we weren't married. Used it to get something so expensive, but I mean so nice and so thoughtful for me. So this is my favorite watch. It looks beautiful. I would say that that's my favorite thing about it, is just the striking looks and the features of this watch. It has a great chronograph. It's powered by a Sellita SW510 back here, I believe. That is a beautiful movement. It's beautiful to look at. I have number 143 out of 500. This was a limited edition, and I love it. So that's what I love, the striking looks of it, and obviously what it means to me. What's one thing I don't like about it? The strap. And the strap's actually awesome. This is one of my favorite watch straps. However, at least as far as I can tell, you can't buy this strap. So if you wanted to get this on your watch, or let's say, and I'm sure it'll happen eventually, this strap will wear out and it'll be time for a new one. To me, this like honey leather strap is so integral to the look of this watch. I would have to want to get another one. I mean, it's It just looks so good in my opinion, and I don't think you can buy one. I don't think you can get one. So that to me is a real missed opportunity by Shinola, just because again, it's so integral to the look of the watch, and the fact that that look will change and I won't be able to make it look like this again is disappointing. But that's my favorite watch. My second favorite watch, and it's getting kind of tough because I have a couple in here, but my second favorite watch is my other Shinola. This is the Runwell Automatic. This was the first nice watch that I bought. I kind of bought it to celebrate my first job, like really nice job. Like I got a job I really wanted, sort of my dream job. And so I bought this partially to celebrate that, but partially to show myself that it's okay to buy nice things if you can afford it, if it's within your realm of possibility, those types of things. And it was important to show myself that, look, you don't have to eat ramen all the time. You don't have to, wear your socks till there's holes in them. You don't have to feel guilty about, getting a nice thing. And that's important, to keep in priority among your other priorities. So, but I also this is my favorite. Again, I'll talk about meaning more in a little bit, but this is my favorite, second favorite, my favorite one that I bought myself because, partially of the meaning, but I think this is the best Shinola Runwell Automatic Shinola's ever made. They did not come out with this color again. They just didn't do it. And I think this is the best color. It's so striking. It's just more striking than any other color Shinola Runwell Automatic they've ever made. And it just pops. It pops in the sun. You can see it, in a lit room really well. Inside, outside, it looks great. This one's powered by a Sellita SW200, I believe. And it's just great. The proportions are really nice. I think it fits on my wrist really well. And it doesn't exactly match with a ton of different things, but it's a great accent piece. It goes with a lot of different things, if that makes any sense. So I love my Shinola Runwell Automatic. One thing I don't like about it is the lume. I've worn this quite a few times recently, especially, and then I've been in a dark room and wanted to know what time it is, or I went to a concert, a symphony with some friends, and the lights were off, and I was wearing this watch trying to tell what time it was. You can't do it. I mean, the lume is terrible on this watch. So my second favorite watch, Shinola Runwell Automatic. Third favorite watch, not too much of a decision here. It's a tier below these two. These two are my favorites by a little bit, but I don't know. It's not low by a lot, and it's the Vaer C5 Korean Field Watch. I love this watch, and I would recommend it to anybody looking for a field watch. The value here is impeccable. It's a great timepiece. These watches are quite expensive. This one I think I got at the Shinola outlet for $800, $900. And then this one, like I said, my wife got me, but pretty expensive there. This watch from Vaer, I think it's $200, $250, maybe $300 at most. I want to say it's in that range. And this is probably, of any watch in my collection, honestly, this is probably the watch I've received the most compliments on. Possibly the blue Shinola here, but this has to be, if not the most complimented watch I own, the second most complimented. People love the way it looks. This goes with just about anything. You can wear it with almost anything. It just goes with anything. I mean, I'm wearing an orange quarter zip right now, and it doesn't look super out of place. You can wear it with a t-shirt. You can wear it with a long sleeve shirt. You can wear this, I wouldn't wear it to a dressy occasion, but you can wear it anywhere else. The price on this is just, like I said, it's fabulous. And I also love the heritage of it. It was built after the Korean War field watch spec design. We think of field watches and the Dirty Dozen and World War II and those types of things, but to build one in homage to the Korean field watch spec is awesome. And the lume is really good. It's old radium style lume. It's assembled in the United States. And then on the back of the watch here, we've got this never forgotten Korean War with the peninsula there. And it has a solar quartz movement. So it never needs a battery change. It's low maintenance. Again, I can stick this on at any time. It's awesome. Came with a rubber strap too. This watch is just fabulous. I love it. One thing I don't like, I really do like this solar quartz movement, this Epson, but I don't like how the second hand, I don't know if you can see it there, and sometimes it lines up, sometimes it doesn't, but that second hand does not line up with the markers when it ticks over, and that's really annoying to me. For some people, it's a deal breaker. I saw some people online just not want to buy it because it doesn't line up, and it does annoy me. Very actually has an article on their website about why it doesn't always align. But I don't like that about this watch. But it's still, again, my third favorite in the collection, so not a lot to complain about here. Again, it's a great watch. It's awesome. And it's cheap relative to watch terms anyway. I'd recommend it to just about anybody. There is a smaller size version, so you don't have to get a watch this big if you don't want to. Great product by Veer. Really, really enjoy it. All right, had to take the orange vest off, getting a little hot in the office here, but we've got to keep the show moving. We've got the fourth favorite watch in the collection, and that's tough. That's tough. I really do like these three watches. These two are probably actually the most worn in the collection. The Shinola Renwell is awesome. It just, it feels a little dressier to me, even with the sportier strap I stuck on it. So it just doesn't get worn quite as much, whereas I feel like these are more casual, and I'm usually in more casual situations. Man, it's tough to decide, but I would say my fourth most favorite watch might be a little surprising. Man, again, it's a tough decision, but we'll go with this for now. It's interchangeable, but the Far and Swit Mixtape Volume 1, the cheapest watch in my collection, just so happens to be my fourth favorite watch in my collection, the Mixtape Volume 1. This is an ingenious design. If you go watch my video on this, I don't have videos on every watch, but I do have a video on this one. It's awesome, and it's a great gift. My mom watched that video, said she really liked the version of it. I think they have the Mixtape Volume 2, maybe Volume 3 out by now, but this watch is $30, or at least it was when I bought it from Far and Swit. So you're getting a micro brand watch, kind of a hipster, quirky watch. It's supposed to look like a mixtape, like a cassette tape. There's the negative version of it here, which you can see, the negative display. There's also a version with your normal display. I just got this particular one. And again, it's $30. It fits on the wrist really well. I don't necessarily worry if anything's gonna happen to this watch. It's not particularly valuable. It looks awesome and striking in almost every circumstance. I used it a lot this season to time. I coached a sport with my wife, used it to time people. It does have an alarm function. It's got a stopwatch function. Like I said, I use that quite a bit. It's got the time. You can go to 24-hour time. It's not exactly the same level of value as some Casios around the same price point, but you can't beat the looks. You can't beat the cool factor. It's just one of the coolest watches, honestly. And for $30, I mean, and again, there's a bunch of different colorways. There's a bunch of different display options. You're not hurting for display options or for colorway. If you don't like this clear negative display, great, you can get a blue one. I mean, you can get a bunch of different stuff. This watch gets worn a ton by me. It's probably the third most worn in my collection, or maybe even second most worn in my collection. It's awesome. Slip it on, don't think about it, not heavy, doesn't weigh you down. It's great. Yeah, I mean, it's all the functionality of a digital watch. It's awesome. One thing I don't like about it, that's tough. I wish the water resistance rating was higher. It'd be nice if I could swim with it or take it out in the rain and, a rainstorm and feel a lot more confident in it. I think the water resistance rating, if I look on the back here, I think it's only, 5 ATM. And I don't know how much I would even trust it, at that level. So I do wish the water resistance was better on this watch. I would definitely buy a version if they made a different version or something with better water resistance. An awesome watch. Like I said, it's kind of tough to pick. It was tough to pick this fourth spot here. So to do that, man, I'm gonna have to make a tough decision again for the fifth spot between two watches I really, really like. So one's gonna be in next, in sixth place. One's gonna be in fifth place. I would say that I would really, really decide on this one though. This is the Marlowe Watch Company Glenbeg White. Now there is a Glenbeg Blue. I believe that version has a date down here, so it has a little bit different movement than this one. They're both Miyota powered movements. And Yeah, but that one comes with like alcohol, and I think it's only available in the UK. This one, much cheaper and available outside of the UK. I thought the value on this watch was really impeccable to get an original British design watch. Plus, the packaging on this watch was exceptional. I mean, it was like, it's a great gift. It's just awesome. All their packaging is really good, but this packaging was especially good. Yeah, I mean, this watch is awesome. It's designed to look like the cask ends of like a distillery because it's made in collaboration with a distillery. This looks really striking. You can see there's a gold chapter ring, or maybe it's a rose gold chapter ring. It looks striking in all environments. The white face goes with pretty much anything. I like the blue accents around it. The blue strap is nice on this watch. This is a great watch that is serviceable in so many different places, conditions, outfits, wardrobes. It's a great watch. You can see as I roll it over to the back here, we've got the movement back there. That's a Miyota movement. This one's also a limited edition. Marlowe, pretty much all their watches are small batch, small quantity. This one is number 56 out of 500. It's really nice. It's a great piece, and I'm confident now after talking about it that it deserves the 5th place position over the other ones. It's a great watch. Something I would change about the watch, I admire the fact that they went and branded this with a distillery. And if you look at the watch from the front, you can't really tell that. Again, it's got the cool striking design. You can't tell it, I like that. But if you get over to the side here, it's engraved in the side. You probably can't see that very well. It says Headland of the Great Seas, which is cool, I guess, but it's like, really engraved in there. And that's okay. But then I come over to the back here, and I cannot pronounce this. Some people from Scotland had to correct me. I think it's Ardnamurchan, maybe. That's my improved pronunciation anyway. But then it says Argyll, Western Highlands, Scotland Distillery. And I just think the branding is, there's just a lot of it. Every time you flip the watch over, there's a lot of it. And then, of course, to be engraved over here, I could do with a little less branding, a little less in your face about the collaboration. Maybe just put their logo transparently back here and scrub that off or something. I just wish the branding wasn't necessarily quite as in your face as it is. But it's still an awesome watch, one I'm happy to have in the collection. All right, well, the next watch, well, I thought it was going to be an easy choice. Now I'm looking at some of the watches sitting over there, not quite as sure, but I think it's coming away pretty safe. So these guys, they're in a tier on their own. I'll say, I know I put this a little lower, but I'll put these 3 in kind of their own tier. And then these 3 are about to be in their own tier as well. We've got the Shinola Duck, the new Duck. So there was an old Duck, which was nice as well. And then there's the new Duck, which is this one. I think it looks a lot cooler, sleeker, looks like a skin diver. Pretty great. The strap, that's the thing I like most about this watch, is the strap. This FKM strap is awesome. As soon as I felt this in the Shinola store, I'm like, that strap is great. And I don't really know why it is. It fits on the wrist so well. It doesn't really matter what size wrist. Had to pause for a sneeze there, but it doesn't matter what size wrist you have. The FKM strap fits really well. The clasp is really nice. It doesn't dig into you. The strap's awesome. But let's talk about the watch itself. This is the blue version. It's available in a variety of colors. It's a quartz movement. You'll notice there's a lot of quartz in this, especially as we get down to the rest of the watches here. A lot of quartz here. But this is a watch that did it right with the second hand. Again, the Vair watch does not hit that much, and this watch does not, the second hand does not hit every second marker either, but I think it hits it more consistently. I love the two-tone. It's kind of hard to see here, but I love the two-tone second hand. We've got this kind of teal turquoise toward the center of the watch, and then it gets to this kind of flared out yellow at the end there. It's got a date function. The bezel click is super satisfying. Just take a listen. Really high quality, not a lot of back play. This is a fabulous watch. Again, it fits really well. Does it go with everything as it being blue? Maybe not, but it goes with most things. I think blue is one of the safer color dial options next to black and white. Yeah, it's great. It fits fabulously. I love the way it looks. It's great. I mean, I can't stop saying it's great because it is. The back's kind of cool too. It has this design back here. You can see the water there, and then there's a duck diving, so that's pretty sweet. So I really like that, but easily my biggest zonk on this watch, as Rady's Rides would say, but really my biggest dislike is that this watch, it even says it down there, it's emblazoned on the bottom below all this text. If my camera will focus, maybe it will, looks like it won't, but it says Duck Argonite 715, that's the movement, Detroit, and then 10 ATM, 10 atmosphere water resistance. I think if you're gonna lean into the skin diver aesthetic, and especially the previous Duck design was 20 ATM water resistant. The fact that, yeah, the design's a lot better, but we're getting 10 ATM water resistance. I mean, I would still go swim in this thing, quite frankly. It feels solidly built enough to go for a brief swim, but I think if you're gonna go into that diver aesthetic and call it the Duck, right, which makes you think of water, you gotta have 20 ATM or 15, something, and this does not, it only has 10 ATM. So if there was something I could fix about this watch, it would be a better waterproof rating. All right, next watch in the collection, in terms of favorite, is the Star Wars Citizen Eco Drive. Yeah, I mean, y'all either love this or y'all hate it, I suppose. And there are some things I really don't like about this watch, but there's enough to love here, I would say, for it to earn this spot in the collection. I mean, just look at that face. If you're a Star Wars fan like me, it doesn't get much better than that. And the price on this, I haven't talked too much about prices here, just more economical, or is it not economical? But the price I paid for this was really good. I think it was $225 maybe, something like that. And it has a Citizen Eco Drive movement. It is a chronograph, it's a quartz chronograph. So I can start the chronograph hand here, and you'll see it rotate past, and I can stop it. You'll see it stopped right here. Let's get this a little closer. And then if I hit reset, because it's quartz and it's not a mech quartz or an automatic, it rotates all the way around. But the watch looks good. There is a lot going on. It's a busy dial. We do have the time that the chronograph has been active up here. We've also got a 24-hour timer, or a 24-hour time right there. And then on the bottom, we have the second hand. So that's the second hand. It's really cool. On the back, it's quartz, nothing too crazy about it. Just says, "May the force be with you." The strap here is this really weird color, supposedly inspired by the Rebel pilot suits, if you'll remember that from the movies. But I don't think that looks, I mean, I'm colorblind, so tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that looks like it at all. It just doesn't look like that color to me. Now, this is a big watch. I'd have to get out the calipers. I don't have them with me to get the lug to lug on them, but it's a big watch, and it does fit my wrist, I think, pretty well. But it's, for a lot of wrists, I think you'd be pushing it if you have a decently small wrist. I think my wrist is about average size. But it's a good watch. Now, if I could change one thing, it's tough because I got two things I would change, and this is my video, so that's what we're gonna do. Two things I would change here. I think the build quality is really good, and so, you know, one thing I like, the design and the build quality. However, man, my camera just is struggling to focus today. Just really struggling. You can't even see it. It doesn't matter if the camera focuses or not. That date window is imperceptible a lot of the time, especially if you're trying to quickly look at the watch. I mean, they should not have had a date window on this watch. Whether the camera's focused or not, yeah, you can see it says 17 there. It's really hard to see. That date window's small. It's sunken in there. It's on a busy dial. I'm glad it doesn't have the little Cyclops style, you know, magnifier, but it's no good. It's no good, and they just shouldn't have put it in here. It's an unnecessary complication that clutters up an already busy dial for a date window that's ineffective. So I would say that should go, or that would go if I was in charge. And then the other thing is this strap is like, it kind of sucks, quite honestly. It's just not very good. Firstly, the buckle here, you can see unbranded there. It just says Citizen right there, so no Star Wars branding. But it's really hard, at least for me, I'm usually about third strap from the end. It's really hard for me to find a good slot. One's sometimes too tight, two sometimes too loose. It seems like just the way that clamps down on my wrist that like water gets trapped under there and then I get dry skin, it gets itchy. So that's a me problem, but I also don't think the strap quality is that good. It's not awful. This isn't a terrible strap, but I don't think it's a very good strap. So the fact that the sizing is hard, and I really don't have a hard time on any of these finding a good size, but I do on this one. Yeah, not good. But great design, love wearing it. Makes me think of Star Wars, and it's cool. So there you go. All right, now we've got the next watch in the collection to go on this this list. So these are kind of in their own These three are in their own tier. These three are in their own tier, and I'd say this is kind of in a tier of its own. We've got next the Seiko. I don't even know what this one's called, but it's a Seiko, just a quartz watch here. A much more legible date window, I'm sure you'll agree, versus the Citizen down there. And this one, maybe it's in a similar tier as this one, but I do like this watch quite a bit. This was given to me as a gift for officiating my cousin's wedding, and so it always holds a special place in my heart. I do wear this several times throughout the year. It's a great watch. It's pretty light, so it wears easy. It's classed up, so yeah, there's no bracelet on it. I don't love bracelet watches typically anyway, as you can see by my collection. But this watch is just really, it's classy. It looks nice, but it's also, I think, sneakily casual. This is a very nice watch. Like I said, I think it's sneakily casual. I've worn it with a t-shirt. I don't think it looks too out of place. It's unassuming. You know, Seikos like this, there's a lot of different designs out there. No one's going to look at you twice for wearing it, so I like that. You can fly under the radar. 100 meters of water resistant is really nice. And then that's another zonk on the Shinola. Like, what are we talking about? You're diver themed, you're 10 ATM. This guy's 10 ATM, and it looks like a dress watch. What's going on Shinola with that? But my favorite thing about this watch, besides the meaning, is the second hand. I don't know. I really like the second hand, and this little at the end here. Again, hard to focus the camera, I would say, but there's a little loop or a little circle there. You can see it with the second hand. I don't know why, but I really like that. I don't know what it is about it, but I really do like that. So this is a really nice watch. Means a lot to me. Glad to have it in the collection there. All right. Well, getting to my next watch, and this is a watch. Quite honestly, I've been very well. Yeah, no, it can't go this high in the collection. It's just not gonna. Never mind. We're gonna make a change here. Call an audible. Next favorite watch in the collection. Oh man, it might be a tie. It's got to be a tie between these two. These are two other Seikos, and they mean a lot to me. They'll never be leaving the collection. My dad, I found out, actually has this exact same watch. Maybe he bought them at the same time. This is the first watch I ever got that wasn't, like a Timex digital watch, like an Iron Man type watch. And so my parents got it for me. Really appreciate that. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit very well because the bracelet was last sized, I think, when I was like 10 or 12, so a long time ago. It actually does still fit. It just doesn't fit good. So it needs another link in the bracelet. And the problem is I don't think I have the links for this anymore. So I can get a spring bar tool, pop it out, put a strap on it, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But it's a sharp watch. It's titanium, which is cool. Only 50 meters of water resistance. But titanium watches are nice. I mean, it's super light. It wears nice. It has, I would say, some unexpected dimension to it. As I rotate it in the light, you can see almost a sun ray type effect. But it just really has some hidden depths to the color there on the dial. So I do enjoy this watch. If there's one thing I could change about it, this watch, quite honestly, it's pretty scuffed up. You can't really make them out that much on camera, but right up here there's a really big scuff, and every time I would wear the watch, I have to look at that. And for titanium, which is usually a pretty durable and pretty hard material, to get a big scratch like that is no fun. So I have to think about that when I look at it. So that's what I would change, is for whatever reason, the hardness might just not be up there. And yeah, this was probably a cheap watch at the time. But yeah, that's what I would change. And it's tied with this Seiko here. Also 100 meters of water resistance. Shinola, what are we doing? This one was given to me by my grandfather. This is a quartz gold watch. Again, probably tied for things I like with this other Seiko here. So we'll say that they're tied. And yeah, he just was a great man. He didn't always, he didn't give with money. He gave you time, which was, in my opinion, much more valuable. So it was quite a surprise one day when I had this watch from him. I don't even remember if it was for Christmas or a birthday or, I don't know, another occasion, or if it was just something he thought I would like. And I do, these watches are in certain positions in the lineup, but it doesn't mean, and I'll get to it, there is one I don't really like, but I like every other watch in the collection that I've shown, including this one. The thing that is, though, it's gold, right? And so that's kind of a classic watch color, but I have a really hard time, and I do have the links for this, so I can get this into a position I can wear it. I have a really hard time, at least just the lifestyle I live, finding an occasion where wearing this is appropriate outside of a wedding or a funeral or something like that. And I just don't love the way gold looks on my wrist all the time. And that doesn't mean I wouldn't wear the watch and that it's not a nice watch. It just means it doesn't get worn really at all by me just because I don't have a lot of occasions in which to wear it. But I do like this dial texture. You can see the inner part of the dial is sort of one texture, and then around the markers here is a different texture. So that's what I would say is my favorite part about the watch features itself. One thing I would change, I don't know that there's much I would change about this. Again, the color I wouldn't change. Nice to have a gold watch in the collection. Maybe a little bit better bracelet. It's not a bad bracelet, and I'm sure at the price this was paid for at the time, I don't know how much it was, but nice bracelet for the time. But a little nicer bracelet wouldn't be horrible. But that's sort of a nitpick. This is a pretty well put together watch, quite honestly, especially for, who knows, 15 years ago when this was bought. Nice piece, for sure. Now the one watch I'm disappointed in, it's on the chopping block, probably gonna leave the collection. Something I'm disappointed in, especially because I already own this particular watch from Marlowe, is the Marlowe Solent Timer, I think is how you say it. And on paper, this is a great watch, and the strap's good, and it fits good. So, it checks all the boxes. But just in person, I don't know, there's something with it. Number one, I'm gonna have to send this away for warranty work because for whatever reason, and there's two crowns here, even if these are locked down tight, if I wash my hands, this thing fogs up really bad. It fogs up real bad. I don't know why that is. If I flip it around here, the texture of it's really nice, feels really good in the hand. It's got a nice Miyota movement. The value was really good. I forget how much I paid for it, but for a watch with an original design with this movement from Miyota in it, good value. I like the chapter ring around the back. That's probably my favorite thing about this watch, is just that they have these chapter rings that say some things on the back. So that's my favorite part. But least favorite part, besides it just doesn't, again, it checks all the boxes on paper, but in person, it just seems like something's off with it. Something I would change is maybe getting a ratcheting bezel up here. So I really like the idea that this is a timer, and I've used it quite often as a timer. So you can rotate forward and back, and then I can do this right here and then try and screw that in. But you can see as I try and screw the bezel in, the pip moves. So if I line that pip up, and then I'm gonna try and screw that, see it moves. So it's hard to get the pip lined up where you want it to be. And so I would change that maybe to a ratcheting inner bezel, because it's just really hard to line that up. And yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't feel, again, it's hard to put my finger on it. This watch just feels like a great attempt at a watch and a good watch, but it feels like this watch, the Glenbag White, is night and day better. Build quality seems better. I think it's the same movement in it, actually. It just seems a lot better, a lot sleeker, a lot more well finished, well put together. This watch just seems like it's from a previous generation when they were still refining their processes or something. This watch is also a lot heavier. Maybe not. It feels heavier than the Glenbag White. So this is disappointing. I do regret getting this one a little bit. And that's not to say much about Marlowe. I love the company Marlowe. I'll probably own another watch from them even. And it's not a bad watch. This might just be not a great unit. But this watch and the packaging and everything was so superb, so awesome, so amazing. There's no way I can ignore Marlowe again. Or not that I did before, but no way I'd be able to ignore them. And it's just, I'm always keeping an eye on their website. They have some cool releases coming out soon. I love their designs and I love their pieces. Just, I don't know. This one falls to the bottom for me. So that's all my watches ranked on preference. You know, what do I like the most? These guys are in a tier on their own. These three are in a tier on their own. Probably this one's on its own. These three are together. And then this one's on the chopping block for sure. So that's really it. I know the video's been long. I'll get into really just what these watches mean to me. So they're sorted by favorite. But in terms of meaning, this watch from my wife means the most. I would say this one, just to prove to myself that I could do it, second most. It's hard to delineate between these three, but I would say this one would be next, because to be asked to officiate my cousin's wedding is just an incredible honor, something I still think about and something I think about every time I wear that watch. Just an incredible honor. And then these two I'll say are tied just because they were given to me for similar reasons by family members. So really enjoy these two and their meaning to me. And then the rest are kind of, there isn't a ton of meaning to them. You know, I think one of these watches, it might have been this one I bought because I met a financial goal, and yeah, just, I don't know. Again, not doing it for me. And then the rest of these were just bought because I wanted a field watch in the collection. This looked cool, right? So there's not a ton of meaning ascribed to the rest of these. If I had to rank them, I guess I'd probably put the Vare next, just because it has meaning because of the Korean War. And then the rest you can kind of just throw in a pile. So that's the state of the collection for me. What do you think? What is your collection looking like? And what are you looking to do in the coming year? I would say I'm probably looking to dump this Solent timer. And then beyond that, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. There's a new micro brand, not sponsored. I'd love to see one of their pieces though. Canopy might really like one of their pieces. In my previous video, I laid out that Shinola had actually given me a coupon code because I bought a fake Shinola. So maybe I'll add a Runwell or a different Shinola to the collection again, because I'm down 2 Runwells basically. So that's really on the radar. And there's a couple limited edition Vares I really like. I just can't get over the value and just how sharp this Vare looks. It seems like adding another one of those to the collection might be in the future. And you know, you'll notice there's no like real big aspirations here. I don't necessarily want a Breitling and Omega, something like that. Just doesn't seem like my style, but I can't afford it either right now, but that could change. But yeah, let me know about your collection in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one.